So imagine a delivery driver, violently hurling a fragile package right at your front
Oh,
door.
yeah, you wouldn't even care what's inside the box at that point.
Exactly. I mean, you are just completely furious about the delivery itself.
Yeah.
Like, the content could be exactly what you ordered, but the way it arrived just totally ruins your reception of it.
Right, the mechanism totally ruins the whole experience.
Yeah, and that is actually exactly what we're getting into today. Welcome to today's deep dive. We are looking at a really interesting, reflective text today. Specifically, it's day 40 of a daily reading series.
Yeah, and it focuses on this incredibly universal communication struggle that we all have.
Right, so our mission today is to sort of unpack this concept of gentle words and really discover why our tone of voice is just the absolute key to actually being heard.
It's all anchored in this one core premise, actually, from Proverbs 15.1, which basically says, gentle words calm hearts, while harsh words create wounds.
And when you move that from just a basic premise into how it actually plays out in our relationships, it's wild.
It really is. The text points out this surprising fact that most conflicts don't actually start because of the disagreement itself.
Wait, really, it's not the actual disagreement.
No, I mean, they ignite mostly because of a harsh delivery. Like, a disagreement handled with kindness can actually strengthen relationships.
But the exact same issue handled harshly damages trust for years.
Hmm.
It kind of makes me think of an organ transplant, actually.
Oh, how so?
Well, the organ itself might be perfectly healthy, right?
Yeah.
And absolutely necessary to save the patient's life.
Right.
But if you don't use immunosuppressants to prepare the body, well, the host will just simply reject it as a foreign attack.
That is a perfect analogy because the brain operates in the exact same way.
Really, just complete rejection.
Yeah, totally. When it senses a harsh tone, it immediately triggers a defensive response. So it basically stops processing the logical truth of what you were saying and strictly focuses on self-protection.
Wow, okay. But I have to push back a little here because I'm listening to this and I can't help but feel like prioritizing, gentleness all the time is just a recipe for becoming a pushover.
Like you're just avoiding the tough conversations.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, sometimes you just have to drop the hammer, right? You can't
Yeah.
sugarcoat everything you say.
So the source actually addresses that exact fear using the historical example of Jesus.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Well, he confronted sin and spoke these incredibly hard truths, but the key distinction there is that he never humiliated people.
Right, so gentleness isn't the same as weakness.
Exactly. It is this really difficult balance of grace and truth. I mean, it actually takes far more strength to regulate your own emotional response than to just simply lash out.
Sure, but knowing it triggers a defense mechanism is one thing. That doesn't really help me when, my blood pressure is spiking in the middle of a super frustrating argument.
Right, when the emotions are just running totally hot.
Yeah. So how do we actually deploy that gentleness? Like, how do we stop that instant reaction?
Well, the text emphasizes that gentleness requires this extreme self-control. So physically, what you have to do is override your amygdala.
The fight or flight center, right?
Exactly. When things get heated, that part of your brain just completely takes over. So to hit the brakes, you have to activate your prefrontal cortex.
The logical part of the brain.
Right. And you do this by taking the physical step back, taking a deep breath and just forcing a micropause.
Just a tiny delay.
Yeah, just milliseconds. But it gives your brain what it needs to shift from raw reaction to intentional thought.
And what's crazy is the text points out that we desperately need this with the people who hear us the most, spouses, children, coworkers.
Oh, absolutely.
Because ironically, we tend to give our most reactive, totally unfiltered tone to the people we're closest to.
Yeah, it's so true. And the core life principle the author distills from this is just profound. It says the tone of your words often determines whether truth will be received.
Why?
There's this fantastic quote in the reading that sums it up perfectly. It says, gentle words do not weaken the truth. They give the truth a welcoming place to live.
I love that. A welcoming place to live.
Right. You aren't diluting your message. You are quite literally creating a hospitable environment in the other person's mind for your truth to actually land.
So think about that. To everyone listening, think about the people closest to you right now.
Mm-hmm.
Would they describe your words as gentle?
That is a really tough question.
It is. Do your words bring peace or do they create tension?
I mean, it is incredibly easy to be gentle with a total stranger. The real test is when you are deeply frustrated with someone you actually love.
Absolutely.
So the action item from the text today challenges you to choose just one situation where you would normally react quickly and just force that micro pause.
Right. Just take that breath.
Exactly. Respond with gentleness and just observe how it completely changes the trajectory of the conversation.
Because if you can change the delivery, you really do change the entire outcome. So we're going to leave you today with this final thought to just sort of mull over on your own.
Okay, what is it?
Well, if tone dictates whether our truth is received, kind of makes you wonder, how many important truths have you tried to share that were entirely rejected?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Right. Not because you were wrong, but simply because of the incredibly harsh way you delivered them.